TGIF Fashion Dolls. It is Fierce Female Friday, April 5th, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. Now, it's been a minute since I've done a girl talk, but our very special guest today, she's new to the dollhouse, and I'm super excited to have her here. Now, we had our girl talk scheduled for this Wednesday or Thursday, was it? One of the two. Wednesday or Thursday, we had a girl talk planned, and we had to push it back because IG, Messenger, everything was down. So today we are going to get into some girl talk. So grab your popcorn, grab your snacks, grab your champagne, grab your wine, grab your tea, grab everything you need because we are going to be talking unapologetically about issues that affect us as African American women. All right? So, without further ado, let me go ahead and share this live with Chappelle so that we can get her here. Uh-huh. And we're going to get right into it. She's here, Fashion Dolls. Let me welcome my beautiful special guest, Chappelle. Hello, beautiful.
Hi, Stevie girl. How
I'm
you doing?
doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I'm not home right now. I'm at a friend's place, so excuse me for being late. Trying
No,
to get it together, girl.
I understand. You are good. You are good. You look absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you,
And
so
it is a pleasure to have you.
do you.
Thank
Baby, make me
you.
want to try a little hard. I ain't doing enough.
So let's get right into it. How has 2024 been for you so far?
Child. I'm not even gonna complain. It has been good. It started off a little rocky, but regardless of the rockiness, I feel good about it. I still is like stuff fall apart to come together for me. That's kind of the mindset I have. So it's like start off a little rough, but I'm optimistic about it. It's getting a lot better. I say that it's getting a lot better, child. Cause whoo, I
Before we continue on with our girl talk
know.
today, I've heard the news about the earthquake. To anybody who's in the New York, New Jersey
Yeah,
area, sending my love and prayers and hoping that you guys are safe and okay up there. Some people said
absolutely.
they were not affected by it,
Hmm.
but I have family in the New York area. So
Yeah.
Brooklyn, Manhattan, those places. My father's on the phone with my family. So sending my love to anybody else who's been affected by this earthquake. Sending my love to New Jersey also too, because I know some people in New Jersey were also affected by it. A
Right,
4.6 latitude.
right, right. And I'm sorry. Crazy people. Anyway, but yes, I 100% agree. But yes, praying for everybody. Hmm.
Now let's get into some girl talk. Are y'all ready? It's finally Friday, Fashion Dolls. And we had our girl talk scheduled for this week, but we had to push it back because IG was down, Messenger was
Baby,
down,
they
WhatsApp.
had the corona or something going on around there. I don't know what was going on with the metaverse.
Right. But it's fixed now. So I'm glad to be back, y'all. So let's get right into it. Now you are a Capricorn. You're born January 19th.
Yes, yes. I'm a cusp baby because the next day is Aquarius, but Capricorn through and through. Yes, January 19th. I was born in Illinois, born and raised. From there, I left and went to Vegas, then went to Minnesota, then back to Vegas, and now I'm in Atlanta. I've been a little bit everywhere.
Now, at what age did you say, okay, acting was something that I wanted to get into?
I always, let's say this, I've always had the hunger for television. So I was the only child until I was 15 years old by my mom. And so I spent a lot of time in front of the TV. I didn't have siblings. My cousins, we used to fight like cats and dogs. So while we argued or fighting, I'd be in front of the TV. I remember my grandmother bought me my own little TV. It was way back that had the little VCR connected to it at the bottom. So I constantly watched TV and I found myself not really watching what's happening, but more studying what was happening. Like I would
Mhm.
practice how a person moved, how they talked, how, their eyes would blink, what emotion they were feeling. And I would get lost in what was happening, well, what the actor was doing as opposed to the story. if that would make sense. So I'd
That
be sitting there
moment.
watching a whole movie and really sometimes couldn't even tell you what it was about because I was so busy focused on their mannerisms. I was studying them without even knowing I was studying them. And I was the kid where they'd be like, girl, come in here. You seen that movie? Come show them and do that one part. And I would, reenact certain stuff that was funny and stuff like that. And it just something that came natural. Now growing up, I didn't really dab into it because I wanted to be one of the cool kids, and being part of theater was not cool, So I was like, I always wanted to do it in the stage, but I was always afraid of the backlash from my peers. So
Uh,
I never did it, but I always wanted to do it. And once I believe I was maybe around 26, I was talking to a friend of the family, and I was just like, I really want to give it a try. She was like, just do it. Just do it. And I still was a little reluctant. I was like, But every time I was in a crowd of people or we were talking about anything film and I would do something, people was like, you need to do that professionally. I'm like, okay, yeah. But I still was just like, whatever. But one day, I was in Vegas. I heard on the radio that they were doing an audition. And it was a 3-day audition. It was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so it was by Francis Hall and Antonio Vargas, who's my mentor. And every day I was like, okay, I'm gonna go audition. I'm gonna go audition. I'm gonna go audition. And I didn't. And Sunday evening, I think the cutoff was maybe like 4 or 5 o'clock. And I was in a tub at around 2. And I was sitting in the tub and I was like, well, I'm gonna be late anyway. Well, I might as well not even audition. And some told me, girl, if you don't get your tail up and just go, the worst thing they can do is tell you no. And so the last audition day, the last time slot, I just showed up and auditioned. And it's crazy because after the audition, they were just sitting there looking at me. Like they were just looking at me. And I'm just like, oh Lord, I know I bombed. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I was horrible. And Antonio looked at me, he was like, damn. And I was like, what? He was like, we already have everybody's characters already set. Like, he was like, what am I going to do with you? What am I going to do with you? And I was like, what the hell is he talking about? He was like, I got to have you part of this production, but every character is already, you did the last audition, but I picked everybody. So I was like, okay. He was like, well, I want you to still be a part of it. So how about you be the understudy? I'm going to have you be the understudy of a few characters. I said, okay, cool. I'll do that. I was just happy to be a part of it. It was my first production. I was like, okay, cool. They had me memorize 5 different characters. 5. And I was there every rehearsal. I didn't miss a beat. Baby, I remember one day I was so sick in rehearsal. I fell asleep and was snoring. And he woke me up and was like, you're all right. Don't worry about it. I'm just glad you're here. I was like, but after all that hard work, when it was said and done, I'll never forget. I was having lunch with my coworkers. I was at work and my phone rang and it was Antonio Vargas. He was like, well, I got some good news and some bad news. I'm like, okay, bad news is you're no longer an understudy. And I'm like, okay, well, I still want to be. He was like, well, the good news is you're the star of the show now. And I was like, what? And I'm freaking out in this restaurant. Oh my God. Oh my God. He made me this. I went from not being a part of it to being the star of the show. And that was just, after that, I was like, oh no, not to toot my own horn, but I got something. I got something. Like, I need to take this seriously. Like, so that's a long, short version of it. I could be a little long winded.
and then you fast forward. You've got Bitter Sugar, Friends
Mm-hmm.
Like Sisters, and The French Defense, and you've got some other upcoming projects.
Yes.
Now, you said you studied watching television, these actors that are in projects. Who are some of the actresses that you've looked up to throughout your career?
Oh my God. You just gave me chills with that question because there's so many. I'm going to start with my number one, Angela Bassett.
Woo.
Listen. I don't get starstruck a lot because, especially living in Vegas for 18 years, you run into any and everybody. But I already know the day I meet Angela, baby, I'm going to pass out. They're going to need to resuscitate me because that woman's grace, her talent is just, ooh, I'm getting chills, Steve. It's I don't know. That woman is just absolutely amazing. She's my top tier. Now, overall, looking at history, I love Dorothy Dandridge.
Uh,
In my house, you'll see a lot of Dorothy Dandridge. I love Dorothy Dandridge. But in today's date, it's definitely Angela is my top. Now, I love them all. I love them all. But Angela, I can never get enough of her, honey. Ever.
we're gonna get into that later because I'm gonna ask you your thoughts on that because I'm pretty sure you've seen the award show and then she finally got her honorary
I
Oscar award. They
cried.
finally gave it to her.
Yes, that was absolutely amazing. It was, to me, it was like bittersweet because it was like I felt like they should have gave her
Then,
flowers in
yeah.
those moments. So it was like, I felt like they were just giving it to her because they got so much backlash for not giving it to her when they should have given it to her several times. I mean, Wait and Exhale, Iketina, just I can go on and on the projects this woman has just blown out the water. But it was just like, I'm just glad she got it, and it wasn't, God forbid, after she passed away and they want to do a tribute. I'm glad she was able to at least still get her flowers while she was here. So that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing.
Long overdue. And there's
Way
so
overdue.
many what's so sad about it, you've mentioned Dorothy Dandridge. There are so many black actresses that are no longer, yeah, Dorothy Dandridge. Josephine Baker, she did it all as well too. She
What?
acted, she performed, but these women never have gotten their
Never.
flowers. So to see Angela, who's still here, a living testament of that, get her honorary Oscar, that was
Yes,
groundbreaking. And then
absolutely.
it was it's like it's definitely award show season for black women because
It
then you got
is.
Niecy Nash won for Dahmer. Then Davine Joy Rudolph, that makes her the 10th black woman
Yes,
to win an Oscar award.
man.
So to see that, and only 3 black Oscar
Yeah,
winners. So that in itself is groundbreaking to
amazing.
see representation. It's sad at the same time that we as black actors, black actresses, creators
Absolutely.
are finally just getting our
Yes,
just due. When is the push for diversity and inclusion going to come? And those are questions that we have been asking for years.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm glad that the rest of the world is catching up. I'm
Yeah.
glad they're catching up, and I'm glad I'm alive to be able to witness it. This is the start of them finally giving us our flowers, and you start to see more African Americans and people of color in more bigger characters and bigger roles. We're not just the co-star or the funny friend or they putting us in the forefront, and it's overwhelming. It's absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm.
And you let's get right into your upcoming projects because we got a lot we're gonna get into in this girl talk. I'm gonna ask you your thoughts on. I'm pretty sure you've seen it, Angel Reese, and girl, there's been so much going on with black women throughout this field,
Baby,
and like we can't catch a break.
at
So
all.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts on these topics.
Yeah.
But you've got Bitter Sugar, you've got the French Defense coming out as well too.
Mm-hmm.
So which project are you looking forward to coming out this year?
It's definitely but Bitter Sugar. Because this one has a twist to it. So
Oh yeah.
I played Dr. Cynthia, and I'm the head doctor, and I run the ER here to say, but not to spoil too much. It just has this character definitely has a twist at the end. You're gonna be like, wait a minute, what? So yeah, that one is what I like. Now, when I played Dr. Gordon, um, in my last film was still with Kenny O.D. This is another one of his productions. Um, Dr. Gordon was very just straightforward. This is what it is. It wasn't too much depth to her. But Dr. Cynthia, baby, Dr. Cynthia got some things on her up to her sleeve that yeah, yeah. So I'm really excited about it. Now the French Defense, I didn't have too much involvement in that. I'm literally just there because that was a very, very short film. So I didn't really get to showcase any of my talent in that other than acting with my body per se. But I was really, really excited about that because it was 100+ degrees that day. The whole scene was outside. Baby, we in Las Vegas desert. I about died. Uh, but it was an amazing opportunity because I was working with Tori Russell, who was also Tyler Perry's assistant at one point, and he branched off and went and got his own production company and to work under him. Oh, honey, the stories I can tell you. The stories I can tell you. Okay. But I'm really excited about this project. We have the red carpet premiere, which does come out, what, April 20th. I can't remember. I think cinema something. I can't think of it, but I know I have it. I'll have it on my page for that. I'm really, really excited about this one because we do 2 shows. So last year, when we did Friends Like Sisters and we had the premiere, it's going to be at the same location. We only had 1 showing. And that one sold out, and there were so many complaints like we didn't get to see it, nobody got in. So this year they're going to do a 2 o'clock showing, and then I think another and a 6 o'clock showing. So they're going to do 2, which is pretty cool, even though I'm like, okay, Kenny, I'm gonna be there all day, so I gotta be there, the meet and greet, the interviews at the end, the red carpet, and do all that good stuff. So I'm gonna have a long day ahead, but I'm excited. I live for this. I love it. I can't wait.
So the premiere is coming up April 20th. Y'all heard that, and she will have the information posted on her page.
Yeah.
And you guys need to go and check these projects out because I've seen little snippets here and there. So I can't wait for it to come out to see you in action.
Yeah.
Now, let's get deeper into some girl talk because you kind of hit the nail on the head when you mentioned Dorothy Dandridge.
Yes.
But let's get into it. I'm pretty sure it's everywhere. Angel Reese, she is the trending topic. And this is from the Griot. She says, women's basketball phenomenon, Angel Reese on being cast as a villain. I have been through so much. And this is what she says. She goes in depth. She says, I've been threatened. I've been sexualized. I've been through so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. So I'm going to give my thoughts, and then I'm going to let Chappelle give hers. This is what Black women experience in the business. This is what I like to call, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you, you might want to get a pen and paper because I'm going to educate you. This is called misogynoir. And I know so many Black women in this business who've experienced it. Whenever they speak out or say something, it's just like, she's so vile, she's so aggressive, she's so evil, she's bitter. And God forbid they label you as an angry Black woman. And this has happened to so many Black women in the business. Monique, and I'm pretty sure you've seen her Club Shay Shay interview. They label you as angry or bitter or aggressive or she's too difficult to work with. And it's just like, I'm just saying, I want to get paid the same as my male counterparts.
Exactly.
Or I'm not going to do this to get a certain role. Now, we're going to go into the music industry. Lotto spoke about this, how difficult it was for her to get, it was a rapper, it was a male rapper, to get on a track with her. She spoke about this, how difficult it was. It's like they're making you run around in circles to do these things. I'm not going to sleep with you to get a part. I'm not going to sleep with you to have you on my record. And that's what is expected for women in this business.
Right.
Now, what shocked me, to the men that are watching, don't get in y'all feelings because y'all know it's true. Rick Ross said that if he signed a female rapper, he said he'd have to sleep with her. This is what women have to go through in the business. So I believe Angel when she says, I've been traumatized, I've been harassed, I've been victimized, I've been sexualized, because that ties into misogynoir, which is hypersexualization and violence against Black women. And you want to know what it falls on the scale of? White supremacy, because we're Black women. That's why it's called misogynoir. And this term was coined by Moya Bailey in 2009. So I can give you a list of women who have experienced it. Serena Williams, Meg Thee Stallion, Ciara, and our former First Lady, Michelle Obama.
Hello.
All of these women have experienced it.
Absolutely.
All of Viola Davis is another one because, I mean, you're looking at the screen here and you clearly see the difference. It typically goes to darker skinned women, but it affects all Black women because they label us, they're saying we're too masculine. Whenever you speak out, you're aggressive, and it comes off as aggressive.
Right.
And we're seeing this even now with Amanda Seales, where they're banning her from certain award shows, certain red carpets. But you can have Jonathan Majors walk the NAACP Image Awards. Let's talk about it.
Woo! You done said a word. Baby, you done said a word. Like it's asinine how they try to victimize society, and we're always the villain, but yet you're the first one we come to. We the first one on the front lines. We kissing your wounds, hugging you, telling you you love me, birthing your babies. I mean, it goes on. And like with Angel Reese, that sport requires that type of confidence and attitude. Period, point blank. Michael Jordan did it. Scottie Pippen did it. Dennis Rodman did it. And I can go on. And they're just, oh my God, idolized for it. Do you see the cockiness in his game? And he's just so. But when she's doing what this is not ballerina. This is not tea time. She's an athlete. This is a sport, a competitive sport. She's already at the bottom of the totem pole by being a tall Black woman, period. So the fact that she come in and she know what she worth, she putting in the work. She let them know, listen, this is who I am. I'm here. Now what? The things to make her the villain. And I love that she said, I'll be the villain. I'll be the villain. But one thing y'all can't take away from her is her talent. The girl is gifted. Gifted. And y'all call it, but I just hate that, especially when it comes to a field that's typically dominated by men, and women come in with that same attitude. And it's just like, hold on, sugar. Pipe it down a little bit. And it's like the nerve for that woman to have confidence, the nerve for that woman to know what she's bringing to the table. And she's killing the game, absolutely killing it. And it's like, you can't win for losing. Now, if she got on and was just so timid and stuff, they'd be like, oh my gosh, she's boring, she's this, she that. But she coming in there like, yeah, what? Oh my God. Oh my, like, and stop it. Go suck a thumb or something. And then the whole thing with Monique, that broke my heart because I believed her to begin with. I absolutely 100%.
Girl, the trailers. Will Packer, what are you doing?
I believed every single thing. And even me being in this industry, I didn't realize how small it was until I was in the thick of it. When I tell you, Stevie, it's so small. And all it takes is one word. And I was actually on an Uber on the way to my friend's house. I was talking to the driver, and she was like, well, have you auditioned for Tyler Perry and stuff like that? I was like, well, no, I had some issues with transportation, and I need to make sure that I'm 100% mobile and good before I start doing that. And she was like, why? I said, well, you know what? I don't want to be late and and stuff like that, because that can grow like wildfire in this industry. She was like, well, Regina Hall and a few others, they've been late, honey. They've already made a big, big, big name for themselves, so they have it. But I won't be giving that same grace. All it takes is, oh, hey, Chappelle, yeah, honey, but she was late on my set. She showed up late or whatever. All it takes is one. Was she good? Well, I don't want to deal with that on my project. And all it takes is one to completely just tarnish your hard work. And it's so small, because even my friend who I'm at his house right now, we met on set. And the thing is, you can't tarnish your name in this industry, because once it's tarnished, it's very, 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 very hard to get out of. And case in point, Monique, they blackballed the hell out of that woman. I'm glad she spoke on it when she was as far as she was in her career, because if she would have spoken that earlier, who would have known if she would have been the Monique she is today? Because if she would have been just getting in the game and complaining about something, she would have been gone. They would have got rid of her. Go. No, we ain't got time for that. Because this industry is so small. You never know who you going to walk into, bump into. No, you got to be on your P's and Q's, because especially in Atlanta. Like, I bump into people so much that's in the industry, and they want to work with me just based off of my attitude. But as soon as I make a complaint about something, like, hold on.
Oh, she's difficult. She's aggressive. She's bitter. And it goes back to the Queens of Comedy.
Yes.
Monique said for the Queens of Comedy, that really made me upset too because Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley, Cedric the Entertainer, Bernie Mac, God rest his soul, amazing comedian.
My favorite all-time comic.
I love Bernie Mac. They got limousines
Yes.
and Rolex. The women had to share a car.
Yes. Yes.
Monique said, if you're giving them limousines and Rolexes, give us the same treatment. But that's, like you said, it goes back to everything being so male dominated. And I
is.
was watching Glorilla on Tamron Hall this week. She said, what is required of female artists, female rappers, actresses, whomever? For women in this business, for us, we got to have the hair, we got to have the makeup, we got to have everything. Not a fingernail, eyelash, nothing out of place. Everything has to be perfect. Guys can just go on stage and they can do their 1-2 walk back and forth. But for women, the choreography has to be on point.
Everything.
It has to be amazing. They expect you to bring it. It's go hard or go home.
Yeah.
But for men, it's just they're men. They're simple. It's easy for them. For women, we have to deliver it and bring our A game. And Glorilla was 100% right.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Even as it pertains to the next Black woman we're going to talk about, which is Lizzo. Oh. Lizzo says that she quit. And we were thinking she's quitting. Is she quitting the music business?
Right.
But she said she's quitting the music industry. I didn't sign up for this.
Mm-hmm.
And she came out and she said, I didn't sign up for this. And all I want to do is make music and make people happy and make the world a little better than I found it. But I'm starting to feel like the world doesn't want me in it. And I can give you a couple of reasons on that. Again, misogynoir, a woman who's typically curvaceous, dark skinned, they don't look at it as desirable.
Oh, no,
it's not desirable. And that's the case with Monique. As she mentioned, you've seen the video of Taraji.
Yes.
People instantly, but we see the difference between Monique and Taraji.
Right.
It's beauty. It's about beauty. And I've learned this from working in the beauty business, that I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea because I'm a dark skinned Black woman.
Yes.
Tall, curvaceous. Mm-hmm. They don't see that as marketable and desirable.
Exactly.
You oftentimes hypersexualize.
You got to kick the door in, baby. Got to kick the door in. You got to.
My heart goes to Lizzo because it's like she's faced with so much criticism and scrutiny on a daily.
Absolutely.
Even Beyonce, when she came out with this country album, I'm just like, can this woman catch a break? And I know it's got to be mentally draining because she doesn't read the comments. She doesn't read anything. No. And that's the same approach that I've taken as well, too. I do go back and I read the positive ones, but anything else, I disregard it. I block the person if they're negative. But that's the approach that Beyonce decided to take. With Black women, there's always going to be some scrutiny, tyranny, and criticism on anything that we do. Like you said, even if you're late on set or you speak out on certain things, but you see that is wrong, it's just like, wait, my male counterparts are getting this. Why can't I get this?
Can't say nothing.
And it's what? A woman makes a dollar every time in the acting business? What? It's unequal.
Bare minimum.
Unequal. Bare mineral. The males are getting more, women are getting less.
Right. Absolutely. It's and I haven't even gotten that far, and I've been able to see and witness it. It's so crazy when you watch shows and movies and stuff like that, and you have no clue of what happens behind the scenes or what processes people have to go to even get this to fruition or in production. It's crazy. It's been a lot of times I've had to shut my mouth and be quiet, but that's one reason why I love my mentor, Antonio Fargas, and I always give him his flowers whenever I can, because he not only saw my value immediately, but he let me know, and he showed me and put me in position and was like, hey, you're great. If you have a problem with something, you come to me. If you need anything, you come to me. Like, he questioned myself, and when I tell you, he would cuss me clean out, but it was with so much love. You know what I mean? And he was just like, no, how dare you? If I'm performing and I'm slipping, he's like, hey, and he was screaming, hey, get over here. What are you doing? Like, do you know who you are? Like, and I'll be like, okay. Yeah, he like, shake it off, get it together. And that's what I love. People like that in this industry give me hope and make me want to go further, because with him being in this industry 30 plus 40 plus years, for him to see something in me and then push me to it. Like, even I can call him right now and I'm like, hey, this is what I'm doing. And he will literally say to me, as long as you bring somebody else up with you, I've done my job. He said your job as an actor is not only to be great, but you bring somebody else with you. You find somebody who also wants to be in that same position. You coach them, you teach them, you encourage them, you speak life into them, and you help guide them in the right direction. He was like, honey, what's the point of being on top of you by yourself? Bring these people with you and push. And that's what I love about people in the industry. Now, you don't meet too many people like that, because everybody is for self. Oh, honey,
Yeah.
listen, I'm going to die. I ain't got time for this. I'm a one-woman team, or I'm a one-man team. Ain't no, I got here by myself, me, myself, and I. No, honey. No, I got a village, and I'm going to always keep my village. I'm never going to sit here and say I made it alone, because I didn't, and I'm not going to. And everybody who stuck by me, who loved me, who encouraged me, I'm going to make sure they have a seat, several seats at that table, and a few extra tables on the side, so, but this industry can be very me, myself, and I cutthroat, and it's very harsh. And if you don't bring your A game at all times, you cannot be found slacking, because I've seen on set where I will come fully prepared, like script memorized off the top of my head, no flaws. And you got this guy over here who stuttered up line, and he still treated like the king of Zamunda, child. Treated like the king of Zamunda. But then, I'm lying and saying, okay, good job, all right. And I'm just like, thank you. Okay. It's just like, okay, but whatever. It's part of the game. You got to have very, 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 very thick skin. Very, because this industry, like a lot of industries, it can be very hard. You're going to hear a lot of no's before you hear a lot of yeses. So you have to be built for it. You got to be built for it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you come prepared. That right there is what I like to call patriarchy, because everything is male
It
dominated.
is.
Everything is male
It
dominated.
is.
And a man can do something and stand his ground and be firm, even in the business, if you're doing a
Mm-hmm.
business meeting. When a woman says something like, hey, this isn't right, or make a suggestion, women, we're being told we need to sit down, shut up,
Or she's
and
a
be quiet.
bitch.
Or shut
She's
up and play
bitchy.
ball.
Bitchy. They used to call me, I kid you not, my old job, I worked for one of the colleges in Vegas. They literally called me a pit bull in a skirt, because I was very 10 toes in my respect. Not to go off in a tangent, but there was a student who, it was Caucasian guy. He had to be at least 6'4", at least 300 pounds. Big country guy. And when I got hired on the job, they literally warned me about this guy in my interview. Like, he's known to come up here. He's intimidating. He's meeting everybody. He's cuts people out. Even had my boss crying. And I was like, oh my God, like the big bad wolf. They're like, yeah, everybody's intimidated. All the women leave the office when he comes in. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't wait to meet this guy. He comes into the office. I'm sitting in the front and I'm like, hey, how can I help you? John, I'm here to pay this and da da da. I said, excuse me? I'm here. You heard what I said. I said, oh, no. We're not going to do that. You heard what I said. So I just sat there and I looked at him. And what do you, I said, when you learn how to talk to me, we can conduct business. Until then, I'm just going to stare at you. And then he was like, oh, well, can you help me? I came to do this. I said, absolutely, sure. And I helped him. And then he started raising his voice again. I said, hold on, wait. I'm giving you respect. I demand the same. I'm not going to help you. I don't have to help you. And I told him, I said, and they have this on film, said, I am not everybody else in this office. I'm not scared of you. I know I'm at work, but baby, you don't know me. Okay? I'm not scared of you. I kid you not, Stevie, ever since that day, I helped him. I processed him. Every time he came, he looked for me. Everybody else will run out of the office. He looked for me. You have to demand your respect. You have to demand it. You have to demand it. And I wasn't nasty. I wasn't cursing him out or giving him out. Listen, I'm going to give you respect. I'm going to say hello. Sometimes he'll come in. This is what I need. I say, hello, how are you? Just, hello, how are you? Hi. Okay. thank you. All right, what do you need? Listen, you know, we're not gonna do that. And then I noticed that once you kind of they oh okay, she's gonna all right, okay. So either some of them they'll back up, but some of them they will respect you more. And you got to stand 10 toes in it, because if you don't stand up for yourself, who else gonna do it? You know.
Even let's go to politics, because I'm pretty sure you've seen clips. Fonnie Willis and Jasmine, the House Speaker. These men in power, it is something about the male ego. They're not used to a woman coming in and speaking up and saying, hey, we're going to work on this plan for this. We're going to
Right.
make sure the colleges, make sure they have everything that they need. They're coming in and they're letting you know the game plan from point A to point B. They're
Right.
not used to, especially Black women, coming in and having a say so. And even as it pertains to Fonnie Willis, I watched the whole trial, the whole case. They tried to basically take everything that this woman was saying and saying, well, why did you do this? And you did this. And she says, first of all, I'm not on trial
I'm
here. You
not
need to
on
be worried
trial,
about this
baby.
person that's been in the White House out here and inciting an insurrection.
Right.
That's who you should be focused about. He's on trial, not me.
Not
She
who's in
came
my
in and she
bed.
let him know right then and there.
Right. Baby, when I tell you I lived for them clips, because she ate them up. And I loved every minute. They all, how she's professional. No, you're not used to a woman in that type of power sticking up for herself. That's the problem. She didn't say anything wrong. She didn't do anything wrong. And not to say, if that was a Caucasian woman on that stand who had crocodile tears in her eyes, y'all would be like, oh no, y'all, why are y'all doing that? They just beat her up. They just tore her down. No, we're not gonna do that. And I'm glad. I was so proud when I tell you, baby, I was so proud. I said, oh, y'all better find somebody else to play with. Y'all ain't finna play with Fannie. That's what y'all not gonna do, is play with Miss Fannie, okay? Oh, she definitely let them know, honey, I'm not on trial. I loved it. I love it. Oh, I loved it.
And she made a point. Black women are always on trial whenever we speak up or say something.
Hello.
You need
Hello.
you need to be quiet. You need to sit there and look pretty. You need to just shut up and dribble.
Just be
In
a
other
wet
words, just
nurse. Just be a wet nurse. Just sit here and let us suck off the teat of your life. But that's it. That's all. That's all you're good for. And that's it. It's like, I'm so much more. Like I said, you want us to sit down and shut up, but as soon as all hell breaks loose, Black women, we need you. We right here with kissing your wounds, bandaging your wounds, taking care of the kids. Like I said, we're good for that. We good when you want a home cooked meal. We good when you need to lay the burdens of what you go through in this world. We're good for you to throw that up on us, regurgitate your. But when it comes to say, hey, I have a problem with this. What you mean you got a problem? You got a problem? You ain't got no problem. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So it's just like, I'm just glad that it's not where it once was, but we still have a long way to go. We still got a long way to go. Oof. Sorry.
and this age of accountability with all of these revelations that's coming out and what women experience behind the scenes with certain Hollywood producers or just producers in the music industry in
Mm-hmm.
general, we're seeing a lot of women come out and say, hey, this happened to
Yeah.
me behind the scenes as well
Yeah.
too. This happened to me. And you try to silence it. They gaslight you. And
Mm-hmm.
they'll say, but this didn't happen. Why are you coming out now? Why is she saying something now? If I would have said something then, it would be like you still would have put this person up on a pedestal. You would have put them up on a high pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't have believed
Right.
either way.
Right. And it's like when I went through my situation with domestic violence, even though the person I was dealing with wasn't on a high pedestal, I still have people to this day that was like, I feel like you over exaggerated a lot of stuff that you went through. And I'm just like, are you
Gaslighting.
serious? And even when I came out and I told my story on YouTube, which is still up there, and even the person who did all those terrible things to me, when he got out of prison and watched it, oh, I got a nasty little message and last little email, but I was so shocked by the comments that I received under that video. All some of them were telling me to unalive myself. I deserved it, and why did I stay, and this and that, and why was I telling the story so much later on? And I was completely the villain. I'm like, just from me telling my experience and my story, I was shamed for. And that was one of the reasons that I held off for so long, because I was like, no one's gonna believe me, because sometimes things happen in life that sound so crazy. If you don't have it on camera, people won't believe you. Like, people like, that just sounds too crazy. Like, hello, do you not know the world we live in? Anything is possible. This ain't just movies. This was my real life. So even with a lot of that, a lot of people, and somebody who was close to me actually admitted it. Like, I thought when I watched your story, some of that stuff you were just dragging out, until I was around that person. And I was like, I'm starting to see a lot of what
See
you
the
were saying.
sign.
I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, like what sick, twisted person would sit there and make that up? I'm not creating a movie. I'm telling you about my life. This is actually what happened. Yeah, you may be friends with that person, or you may know that person, so you may not believe that they're capable of it. But honey, I was laying in the bed with this person. I was living with this person. You have no idea who someone is behind closed doors. You really, truly don't. And so that's why every woman that ever speaks out about things that happen to them, abuse, sexual, physical, emotional, verbal, I believe it 100%. I don't feel like anybody in that industry is passing, especially a man with money. Baby, to me, a man with money is one of the most dangerous weapons on this
A whole lot
earth.
of power.
What? Oh my God, the things I've seen, the things I've heard, especially living in Vegas for 18 years. Oh, honey, that movie, The Hangover, ain't got nothing on my life of the things I've witnessed and seen. Things that I'm too scared to even mention to this day, because I'm like, I will take to the grave with me. But some men, not all, but some men in power, it can be very scary, very scary. So I believe them 100%. 100%. Absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes you have that fear in you, and you're scared to say anything. And so, I never question why they take that long. Why you ain't say nothing then? Because I remember being threatened. I'm going to off your mom. I'm going to off your family. I know where they, and you're trying to protect them. You getting hurt trying to protect them. And you stayed. Or, especially a man like Diddy with the casting thing.
Girl.
That man had his hand in so many pots. I'm still shocked she had the courage to come out even now, because of the power this man has. And now we're just watching it all unfold, and it's like, it's bittersweet, because I'm sad that happened to a black man, but I'm just distraught that happened to a black woman. And I'm just like, dang, black man, what are you doing? Like, come on. My thing is, I don't understand that, because you have the power, you have the fame, you don't have to do those things. There are people in this world that do have those crazy fetishes and kinks and stuff like that. Go find them. There's some people that love to get tortured, stuff like that. Go do that with these people. But to do it to somebody forcefully, like you don't, yeah, it's like you said, the insane will never understand the sane, and the sane will never understand the insane. It's just, I will never understand that logic. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's sad. It's sick, and it's sad. It really is.
And even with this whole Freaknik documentary, there was a woman who was essayed at the Freaknik event, and there was nothing. I mean, and they're just like, well, and the responses from men online, well, she was a hoe. Just the dress that I'm wearing today, if I was to wear something like this at Freaknik, you wouldn't be able to restrain yourself. It's about consent. You don't get to touch anybody in any way.
Right. Right. Like, that's it. I never understood it. I said, even if a woman walked down the street butt naked, that is not give anybody on God's green earth to force her to do any and all thing. You might need to take her to a psych ward, but that may be about it. Like, I just don't understand the logic of forcing somebody to do something and taking something, because you don't just take somebody's body when you do that. You take their spirit. Speaking of somebody
Innocent
who has been
soul.
essayed, you take their spirit, and that's something to this day. You live with it every day. You just work on getting better with it and deal with it. But like you said, that Freaknik, that was just the black people spring break. Like, you used to watch MTV
Yeah.
spring break shows, and they do all that. That was just like black version. You out, you having fun, and there's no cause for that, and people getting drugged and taken. And they were telling me a story about how one girl was pulled into a room and it was like a gang essay, and nobody got penalized for it because they thought, oh, like it's absolutely insane. And it's just, I'll never understand the logic. I just can't understand the logic. I can't.
And the True Life on MTV did a documentary about it back in what, 98?
Mhm.
And they talked about, I've heard one of the guys in the documentary, they were documenting freaking. He said, well, the girls, they'll let you touch them. That's not every
Right,
woman. That's not every woman who
right,
wants you to touch them.
right,
What gives you the right? And then what was so disgusting is that you had other black women out here talking about, well, you worried about how you need black men, y'all need to be worried about how this documentary gonna make y'all look.
right,
What
right,
about the victims? What about these women? It was 5 women who came out and wanted to sue for this documentary not to even be out. They didn't want it out. 5 women. And you totally just disregard what they say.
because they don't care.
And this is why women, black women predominantly, never come forth and speak out about the issues against violence. And I can give you a list of women who've experienced trauma and violence in the industry. And
It's
whenever
sad.
they spoke out about it, the comments just, well, why you said nothing? Well, she's out here dancing. She got Meg Thee Stallion, Keke Palmer. It's a lot of black women who have came out and
And they don't
said
believe
something,
them.
and they don't believe them.
Mm-mm,
And it
mm-mm.
all goes back to what Monique was saying. It's sad that when a black woman passes on, her story gets told. But when she
Right.
speaks out and she's vocal about it, she's difficult, she's aggressive, she's crazy, and she listed Eartha Kitt, she listed Hattie
Yeah,
McDaniel, all of these black women who were way out before the Halle Berrys and the Tasha Smith
absolutely.
and all of these actresses. They've been speaking out on what goes on in the business
Since day
industry.
one. Since
Day one.
day one. Since day one. Eartha Kitt definitely. I'm glad you. Eartha Kitt was not one
She was
to play with.
unapologetic.
And I
Unapologetic.
love that about her, from speaking on politics to her openness with sexually being sexually fluid to everything. She's like, listen, I am woman. This is what it is. And I loved her because I'm telling you, I wish she was around now to be my auntie or something, because she lets you have it, let you know what it is, tell you love. She was so smart, so smart. And this is like, that's crazy. She never got her flowers. Never got her flowers. Mm,
Zora Hurston is another one too. She died with a broken
yeah,
heart. She wasn't even married. Zora Hurston wasn't even married. We know her story. Their eyes were watching God.
yeah.
And I watched a documentary on PBS on her,
Mm-hmm.
and it said she was never married. She died. She didn't have a husband. She didn't have children. Anything.
What? Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Why?
And then Alice Walker came out, The Color Purple, and she redid one of her books. It was a bestseller. So
Mm-hmm.
it's sad that when a black woman passes on, the story is never told. Or when we go
Never told
missing,
right.
or when we go missing, or something happens, it's never really reported in the news. Gwen Ifill, the late Gwen Ifill, said this is called missing white woman syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
So notice whenever a white woman goes missing in the news, or anybody who's a non-black person goes missing in the
Baby,
news, it's reported. They got the FBI,
baby,
the
they done
CIA,
made
they
a
got
Lifetime
everybody
movie
on.
about it. What? They done forget the back of a milk carton. They done made a whole Lifetime series about it, and it's just like, wow. But you know what? Even with all the hardships of being black, I still wouldn't pick any other race because we lit.
Yeah.
We are. We're it. We're the culture. We guide everything. Every field we get in and we dominate it. Everything. We just, it's that genetics, baby. It's never going away. So I love us. I love that for us.
For real. And our stories are now getting told. We are
Mm-hmm.
amplifying our voices even more and saying, hey, we're not going to put up with this. We're not going to tolerate with this. This is what it is. So to see
Right.
women in sports Angel Reese,
Mm.
and Brittany Renner, what they took her through.
Oh
Shakara
my
Richardson, what they
God.
took her through.
That was just insane. And I'm glad she's finally home, because I can't imagine what she witnessed and went through that. Like, how long was she over there? She was over there for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm just glad she survived to be able to tell her story. Even though I know it's too fresh to talk about right now, I just can't wait to hear that. I know that's going to be jaw dropping for real. It really will be. Mm.
We're now in the day and age where I call it, and I said this with my girl Simone Jones. She's also an actress too. I said 2024 to 2023, and this is in the past, is the year of the Black woman,
Yes.
where you were starting to see us speak up and say, "Hey, we're not going to put up with this. We're not going to tolerate this."
Right.
Even as it pertains to the whole Diddy situation, some of his backup dancers, one of his backup dancers, she's also an actress as well too. Tanika Ray. I didn't know she was a backup dancer before she became a host for, I think, ETE or one
I
of
didn't
these
know
networks.
that either.
But she was one of his backup dancers, and she came out and she gave her story of what happened as well too. So
Wow.
there's plenty of other women that are coming forth saying that something happened. Cassie's has just been the blueprint,
Mm.
and I'm glad that people are coming out and saying this happened, because nobody should have to suffer in silence or be gaslit. Because I've had friends who've experienced DV or know someone who've experienced DV or being SA or any form of abuse. They've suffered it, and their stories never come out because people, well, why you wait till now to come out and tell
Mm-hmm.
your story? Or,
Mm-hmm.
I think you're over exaggerating. You're carrying it a
Yeah.
little bit. It's the
Yeah.
victims. They get
They get
disregarded.
dragged. And then the laws that pertain, even with my situation. And when I tell you, Stevie, this man had beat me so bad.
So
He had hit me upside the head with a bottle that was at least this large, full of alcohol. The bottle was full. And he hit me upside my head and knocked me out to the point where when I was on the ground, my eyes were open, but he was stomping on me and I couldn't even feel it because he hit something in my head that damaged it. When the police finally caught up to him, they told us, they said, it,
now I can hear you. You're back. You were saying,
well, everybody, I am doing, let me Stevie, child, these
take your
folks won't let
time,
me live.
girl.
But even with that situation, when the police finally caught him, they told me, they said, even as messed up as you are right now, we can only hold him for 3 days. They can. I'm sorry, see. Hello, I'm in an interview right now. Okay, can I call you back? Hello. Oh, sweet Jesus, they can't even hear me. Anyway, I'm sorry, Stevie. Um, but it's like, even with that, they were like 3 days is the longest that they could keep him, and I was just like, what? They were like, the laws based on SA and domestic violence is just not where. And then this is where I heard one of the judges say, and I'll never forget this. He said, well, you know why the laws are the way they are, because some women like you come in here and then they find out once their man is going down for it, they want to recant their story. So, and it's like, okay, and that may be true, but that still doesn't take away the fact that it happened. You know, my thing is, you would lock up a man for a little bag of the cannabis, lock him away for 20 years, But you got a woman that's sitting here right here. Well, you got DNA proof. She's in the hospital. Her eye is black shut. And you're like, oh, we can hold you for 3 days. What? It was insane.
And I've seen Lifetime movies like this where the woman would go to the station and file a report, and they're just like, what do you need, ma'am? And they'll say, we can only hold him this. Oh, he made bail. He made bail. What?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even when it pertains to uh Keke Palmer,
Yeah.
they're just like, well, he scratched him. She did this first. I'm
Mm-hmm.
defending myself.
Right.
We know that men are stronger
Hello.
than women. Yes, women, we're
I'm
strong,
like,
but we
it's
can
asinine. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And then these whole things with the protective orders. Baby, that piece of paper don't do nothing. Cause I
they
lost
can
track of how many times my
easily
front
find
door was
you.
kicked in, windows busted, stalked at work. This man dragged me down a flight of stairs by my hair at work with a protective order on file. It didn't do nothing because the thing is they got to catch him. And even when they do catch him, oh, we're gonna hold him for a few days. What's the purpose of that piece of paper? What's the purpose? So it's just like
It's a very dangerous year for Black women.
it is.
And I was watching Paris Milan on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and there was these 3 women, Black women. They were in a restaurant. Even telling a man no is a dangerous thing, and I've
Yes.
talked about rejection. They cannot take rejection. Some straight Black men cannot take
At
rejection.
all.
These 3 women were just eating, having brunch, and this man came to the table and walked up to them, and he went back to his car and he got a GUM and followed these women through the restaurant, all because
What?
they told him no. And this is Paris Milan. She talked about it.
That's sick. That is absolutely sick. Like, what is... Oh, the little... That not the little girl, but that teenager, I think in New York, that got, cut. But that guy, luckily, he turned himself in, but because she turned him down. And now a mother has to
Rejection.
bury their child. I feel like no parent should have to bury their children. All because she ditched you in front of your friends and hurt your feelings.
The Black male ego is so
Yeah.
fragile. They cannot take no.
No.
And it's like being a Black woman and telling a man no is a dangerous situation
It
because
is.
this is how they react.
It
They
is.
react violently.
It is. It is. It really, really is. And it's like you gotta teach these kids, these men, especially the ones growing up to be Black men, how to be able to handle rejection because life is full of no's. Life is full of no's. Starting from childhood, you're gonna get a whole bunch of no's. So got to be able to keep going about life. Like now that boy, his whole life is gone. Your whole life is gone over your feelings, and I don't know if it's just them or if society has kind of made them that way. You can't cry. You got to be tough. You can't
Toxic
let nobody disrespect you
yeah.
and this and that and this and that. And I'm like, that is still a human being at the end of the day. Let that Black man cry. Let him show his feelings. Let him, and they hold on to all this rage, and then once they
Anger.
explode, all hell done broke loose, and now your whole life is gone. Now your mama done lost her baby. You still alive, but she done lost you. By the time you get released, you're gonna be somebody's granddaddy, institutionalized. They ain't even gonna know how to deal with society anymore over your feelings. That's why I feel like mental health, and I'm glad Black people are now getting to the space where going
Yes.
to therapy is not looked at as, oh, I ain't crazy. When I tell you I love my therapist, Steve V, okay, girl, listen, let me tell you what happened. I need to get this off my chest. You know what I mean? Like it's very, very, very important. I tell my god kids, my nieces, my nephews, listen, if you can't talk to your mama, you can't talk to your dad, you can't talk to me, talk to somebody who you feel like they don't know you, ain't no judgment, but they're wired and educated enough to be able to guide you. And you know, like I said, I tell even my stepdaughter, you ain't got to talk to, if you feel comfortable talk to me, but if not, write it down. I'll schedule an appointment, talk to somebody, because a lot of, especially these Black kids, they're in this, I gotta be tough. They're growing up too soon because of society and stuff like that. Like me, I was all my friends called me grandma because I was forced to grow up really, really fast. My childhood went from 0 to 100 real quick. I was one of those latchkey kids. Had to get myself up in the morning, get to school, let myself in as in third, fourth grade. I'm doing this by myself. So it's like, and then talking to somebody about your feelings, man, I don't want to hear that. But that's why I'm glad our community has gotten into this comfortable space of therapy. Anybody, if you got some stuff going on in your mind and you can't understand it, please call somebody. They even got apps for that now. There are free apps you can download. You don't even have to pay. There are people on call that will listen to you. Get the help that you need. You don't have to tell nobody you're doing it. It ain't nobody's business. But get the help you need. Mental health is so important. It's very, very, very important.
And shout out to Taraji P. Henson for talking about it as well too. On her, she has her platform, and then she's went into the courts, and we see her literally trying to make laws and regulations for Black people and mental health, because
Yes.
the Black collective, we've been taught, this is 400 years now of oppression, and so many things that we've endured. Our ancestors, our great grandmothers, great grandfathers have experienced years long, and all of that for us as Black people has affected
It's
us. So we've been
wired.
taught we got to be stoic.
Yep.
We got to be strong. Don't cry. And I wanted to know your thoughts on this last thing before we wrap up our girl talk. Shaq, because you said about Black men not being able to show emotion and cry. He said that if Black men or men in general don't show emotion because a woman will use that against you. I'm just like, Shaq, do you hear yourself? Because I think a man crying and showing emotion shows to me that he's human.
Yes.
It doesn't make him look less of a man. It shows that you have emotion. You don't have to be tough and stoic all the time.
Absolutely.
Now, I'll get it that Black men were raised to be the warriors, the providers, the protectors of us and the family overall. But it's okay to show emotion. It's okay to shed a tear every now and again. It's okay to cry. You cry during the wedding sometime, renewing the vows. You cry when when a child is born, when
Yeah.
you're bringing a life into the world. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So I totally disagree with Shaq on that.
Absolutely.
On men,
Absolutely.
on telling men that women will use it against them. It's just like, no, but there are some women who do that, but it's not all of us. We don't do that.
Right. We don't. And that's why I have some of the closest people to me are Black men. And just recently I had one of my closest male friends, you know, not to give his personal business away, but someone in his family was sick and he was scared and he called me crying. And I can count on one hand how many times I've heard this man cry. He's been in my life for over 20 years. But I tell you, the level of respect and love I have for this man will never go away, whether he cries or not. And I just felt like a man can cry. If a man is vulnerable enough to shed a tear, that's a man that I'm scared of a man who don't want to show emotion. Because baby, at one moment you're gonna break. And if you feel like a woman's gonna hold that against you, baby, that's not no woman. That's a little girl you dealing with. Because I don't know one woman that if they man came to them and cried, she gonna hold it against you in an argument. Not me, not never, not never. So if you dealing with somebody and you feel like expressing yourself and showing who you are to them is going to be thrown back in your face, then you need to reevaluate who you're with. But don't just categorize everybody into this ball of I'm not telling no woman how la 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 la. Well then go
That
get
pride. It's that pride. That male
baby.
pride and
That
ego.
pride will leave you old and alone. Then who you gonna cry to? Your cat? If you got one of those. And that's why with me working in the healthcare field, because currently I work in the healthcare field, the number one residents in these elderly retirement homes are single men. Doesn't matter the race. They are 90% of the population in these senior citizens and elderly homes because they are what? Alone. They dogged every woman they was with, or they kids, they was out here just dipping off and not really paying, and they are alone. But those mothers, they in the basement, or their daughter's house in the spare room or something like that. But these facilities are mainly filled with men, and that's sad because they get stuck on this pride, and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be a player. Baby, you finna be 82 years old, player what? What? At that point, they probably ain't even gonna get up no more. What is you doing? And it's just like it's sad because at the end of the day, everybody wants the same thing, which is love. Everybody. I don't care who you are. Everybody.
Black men, all we're asking is that you open up to us more, and we're seeing that in a high value of Black men starting to open up about mental
Yes.
health. And so many artists, I mean, rap artists, male rap artists. When I saw Lil Wayne speak about depression, and
Yeah.
so many others speak, I think it was Big Sean also too. He spoke out about it. To
Yeah.
see Black men speak out about mental health because they've been taught, they've been programmed.
Mm-hmm.
It's programmed in us, not just Black men, but the Black collective, that
Mm-hmm.
we have to be
Right.
strong. We got to be stoic.
Right.
Don't show emotion.
Right.
Don't cry.
Right.
And then, as far as them going to the doctor, they've now gotten out of fear of going to the doctors and seeing what's wrong.
Right.
Because before they, oh, baby, I just drank some water. It'll be okay. But women, we can easily go and see what is
What's
wrong.
wrong?
To the men who watching again, sorry, fellas, but it's true.
It
Y'all
is.
sometimes do that.
Statistics
Y'all
don't
be like,
lie.
okay, I'm gonna wait a little bit. I think I'm gonna, tough it out. Don't wait too long. If women, we can go and get all of these things done. Go to the doctor, because my mom was telling me, oh, I got to get a mammogram. I got to get all of these things. Listen, please go and take care and protect your health as well, too,
Absolutely.
Black men, if you are watching and listening,
Absolutely.
because that is.
Absolutely. Like I said, I work in the healthcare field, and I get calls every day from wives who they're either calling to schedule an appointment for their husband or calling to handle something for themselves. I don't talk to men that often in this healthcare field at all. And I wish I did, but I really don't. I really don't. I'm either talking to the wife or a woman who's trying to get something done. I hardly ever talk to men. And it's sad. It's sad, but they always, oh, baby, if you okay, I'm okay. What? We don't
No,
share bodies. Get checked,
no.
especially if you're over a certain age. Make sure you go get, your thyroid and
Over
get checked and
65.
all of that. All of that. Go get it checked.
Girl,
Take care of your health.
did you
You ain't
see
got no health.
Ernie Hudson? Did you see Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters? I'm just like, that's the
Keeping in the gym.
Black
He look good.
man. Still look good.
Still look good. He looked the same way he did in the movie. I seen him. I said, I know.
He is real.
And I like older men. I was like, child, wait a minute.
And that's because he understood the assignment, as the children would say nowadays. He took care of his health, and Black men are doing that. Of a certain age, they're starting to do that. 65 and up, you need to go and get checked.
Absolutely.
For women, it's the mammograms. It's all of these things that we have to do to make sure that we are okay.
Right.
So Black men, please normalize your health, especially mental health. And we're seeing a high volume of that, where men are speaking out and saying, hey, I don't feel okay today. It's okay to not feel okay.
Right.
Normalize that. Prioritize it. Don't keep your feelings bottled up inside, because that is a sign of toxic masculinity.
Hello.
Where I gotta be tough. I gotta be stoic. I don't want my son to cry. Suck it up. Don't cry. Be a man. It's just like, show me that emotion.
Yes.
Be vulnerable.
I'm scared of the ones who don't. I'm when I tell you terrified of those who don't, when they say, oh, I don't do all of that. Oh, baby. Oh, no. Because you probably beat people in the closet somewhere. I ain't got time for it.
And I'm pretty sure you've seen the episode of Good Times where James was like, ain't nothing wrong with me. And then he threw the chair against the wall.
Perfect example. Perfect example. Now, you got to release that. It's not healthy. And like they said, stress can kill you. Stress can literally, that ain't just no saying. It can kill you. Release that. Write it down. Even if I tell some of my friends, if you got a camera phone, which we all do at this point, press record and talk to yourself. Let that ish out, because it will literally dry you insane and it could kill you.
be bottled up inside you, and you got all of this pent up anger and energy. You throw on a plate, and the next thing you know, you throw on me. No.
And I done lived through it because the one I was with never showed emotion. It took it all out on the women. Of every single woman this man came into close contact with, she got every piece of anger, every drop, and it's sad.
And abusers isolate you. Another thing about that, as it pertains to DV, they isolate you away from your friends and
100%.
family. They'll say, well, they'll tell your family not to call, not to come visit the house. They'll all of these things. Why are you wearing this? They'll even try to. It was Mel B from the Spice Girls. She broke it down because she went through a similar situation.
Mm-hmm.
She's been talking about it,
Right.
and of course, her then ex-husband is denying and saying, "Well, I didn't do these things."
Of course.
And she said, "You did. You did. This happened to me." Her story has been consistent. She's been out here talking about it and bringing the
word. And I believe every word, every single word.
And into the men, well, maybe she deserves. No, nobody deserves to have you put your hands on them. Nobody's your punching bag.
And like I tell my godsons them to this day, I do not condone. The only time I feel like you should be putting your hand on the woman is if it's to save your life. If you feel like your life is in danger, by all means, protect yourself. But I don't care what she did. I don't care what she said. Do not, under any circumstances, put your hand on that woman unless you are protecting your life. Because, again, if she's not stronger than you, you can leave the situation, walk away, do whatever you need to do. Do not retaliate with violence. I'm no ifs, ands, or buts. If you ain't trying to save your life, no excuse. None.
Or showing a sign of affection, that's the only time you should be putting your hands on me, not using me as your personal punching bag. Amen. So channel that anger into something else other than putting your hands on me.
Talk to somebody.
But when I see Mel B speak out and say, well, these things happen to me, and she broke it down about how each abuser is. See, they try to manipulate your mind and pin your family against you as well, to not just isolate you away from your family. They try to pit your family against you. And then you're going off on your family, and it's a whole mess. And they'll say, well, I didn't say this. And then you're not talking to your family for years, months, years and years to come. So
you right,
master manipulators.
Absolutely.
Master manipulators.
They good at it too. Real good.
Another thing, they'll try to control what you wear, how you wear your hair. And as women, we love experimenting. We love changing up, different outfits, different hairstyles, different things.
Listen, let me tell you something. Mine controlled how my hair was, what color I can get my nails. He used to pick out my clothes. When I got paid, he took my check. When we were in each other's presence, he had my phone. I couldn't even have possession of my cell phone. Whenever my cell phone rung,
he's making the money too. That's another thing. They'll say, well, I'm in charge of the money. You don't work. I got this.
Whenever I got he would literally meet, because this was before I was young. I didn't have a checking account. When it was payday, he would meet me at my job. I need check in hand. Thank you. Sign it over to me. Thank you. At every pay. Oh, it was everything under the sun, from what you cooked, where you went, how you talked, who you talked to, when your phone rang, what color your nails are, what shoes you wear, the hairstyle you got. Everything of you as a person is 100% controlled. And then on top of the mind up they put you through with the manipulation tactics and I'm gonna either hurt your family, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that, and your family don't really like you, and they'll make up stuff. They be talking about you behind your back and this, that, and I heard them say, and I heard and this. It's an ongoing cycle. That's why people say, why you didn't leave? You have no idea what psychology and the mental anguish I was going through in that space is. And they like, oh, you could just walked away, baby. It's not
that easy.
It's not that easy. It literally took me getting hit with that bottle and asking God in that moment, God, if you let me live through this, I promise you I'm gone. And next thing you know, once I was able to get my body moving and I got up, I said, okay, I hear you. Because God was saying, listen, I done gave you plenty, because he gave me plenty of chances to get away. But me, that fear, and every situation got worse. and worse and worse and worse to that final time. And he was like, listen, I'm giving you the way. Listen, this man's going to kill you. You need to get up out of here. And I said, okay, I promise. And ever since then, and that was 2006. I put my shoes on and I was gone. When I tell you I was Flo Jo, okay, gone. Ain't never looked back. But it was the most liberating, freeing. But people don't talk about after you do get out of that, going back to mental health. Because when I tell you, I was paranoid. I was on all type of medication. Baby, I couldn't go to the bathroom without a knife in my pocket. I didn't trust any man that looked my way because in my mind, somehow you knew my abuser and he sent you to find me. How do I know I could trust you? Oh, baby, the stories go on. I had to literally go to therapy because I was so scared of the world. I didn't trust anybody. Maybe when I had a butcher knife in the shower. Okay, there was not anywhere I went. And if I had to go somewhere and I couldn't take a knife or something with me, I wasn't going. I was that scared. It took me a long time to finally get into a relationship because every man who tried to talk to me, and it's crazy to say that, but I'm like, did he send you? Do you know who that person is? It's like, what are you talking about? I was so scared. So scared. But thank you, beautifully diverse. Thank you. That's on YouTube. I did tell my story on YouTube. I didn't tell all of it because I had to put a couple of years into an hour-long video. So I left a lot of it out. I need to do another part 2 to it. But it is on my YouTube if you want to check it out. It's there. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And another thing they do, they'll try to control where you're going. You say, oh, I'm going out with the girls. I'm going to shop or pick up some things for the house. They'll jump in and they'll jump in the car with you. And they'll be like, make sure you're going where you're supposed
Baby,
to
I
be
was on
going.
a bus. This man, when I tell you, when I left that, I couldn't go to my mother's house alone. And my mom didn't like him. You know what he did? He would sit outside for hours outside her house. If I wanted to go visit my mom, I can go. But he's going to sit across the street or go down to the corner at the 7-Eleven and call me when you're ready to go. I would go to work. He would get up like he getting dressed. I would be on the bus. He'd be sitting right next to me. I get off the bus. He walk me, okay, have a good day. When I was getting off work, he's right at that door. There was no out of my sight. None. I couldn't use the bathroom. I had to use the bathroom with the door open. Yeah, it was crazy. It was absolutely insane. Insane. But baby,
And to anybody who's in that situation, it's like you're a prisoner in your own home.
yes.
You can't feel comfortable.
Yes. You can't.
That trauma is going to impact you years and years to come. It's still going to be there.
Oh yeah.
It's going to take you a while
It
to
never
get back to you.
it even affects how I date now. And that's why when I'm dating someone, I tell them, even though you've never done anything to me and you're a great person, but don't raise your voice at me. That triggers me. Don't make any fast, sudden moves towards me. That triggers me. Even though I feel it's just certain things will trigger loud voices, or I can't sometimes be around people. If I'm in the atmosphere and I hear arguing, I have to leave. At one point, I'm like, what's going on, girl? Where the camera at? Let's see. Now I can't even be in that environment because I will get triggered. I have to go. I don't like to argue. I don't like voices raised. I don't like, especially when it's coming from a man. Oh, baby, no. That's why I always tell every man, honey, you ain't got to worry about me arguing with you. I'm not going to argue with you. If anything, I shut down. Even that's something that needs to be worked on. But I can't tolerate it because some things will still trigger me. It will. Like they say, oh, well, you can't treat this man like this. I don't. But I let them know that, hey, this X, Y, and Z, I can't handle that. Now, if you want to continue on with me or not, but A, B, C, D, I 100% can't deal with. And if you show me any of those characteristics, I'm not going to be around. Period, point blank. And it's not much to ask for. I can't handle yelling. Can't handle violence. I don't handle adult temper tantrums very well. I don't, because I was living in a very hostile, violent environment. So anything that brings that up, gotta go. Can't handle it. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And to women out here who know someone or has experienced that themselves,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully this can be a testimony to other women as well, to encourage them to get out of the situation. Do not stay where you know that your life is in danger,
Absolutely.
because they will go after the things that are precious
They
to
will.
you. And I'm glad that you made that point,
Yes.
Chappelle, because they'll go after your mom. They'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I know where your mom
Yep.
lives. I know where your
Yep.
family lives, and this, that, and the third. And it's just like your family's in danger now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I tell everybody, if you're watching, you hear my voice, I still have women to this day that email me, hey, I saw your story. Can I please contact? And I still help them. I give them clues. I give them things to go by. This is what you do. This is what you don't do. Don't say anything. Do not give them a heads up that you are leaving. I repeat, do not give them a heads up that you are leaving. You never tell them you are leaving or I'm leaving you. You do it. You do it. Just do it. But if you ever, like, I always keep my email on my YouTube, and I'm always here for the victims. They still reach out to me, and I'm still going to help. I don't care what time of the day it is. Email me. I will help you. Thank
And
you. Thank
Daniel said that he's glad that you got out. Do you guys have any questions for myself or Chappelle? This was a amazing girl
you. It
talk,
was.
and I'm glad. I didn't even know you was gonna share. I didn't know,
Yeah.
but you showed your
Mhm.
testimony, and I want to thank you for that, because I talk a lot about protecting Black women on my platform. I'm pretty sure you've seen some
Yes,
of the previous shows, and you
I
see
have.
how passionate
Mhm.
I am. I ride hard for
Period.
us, girl. I don't
Period.
play when I see Black women in the news being disrespected, or men just using their power. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with this Diddy case
Mm.
in the next few couple of weeks. So buckle up your seatbelts, because we are in for a wild ride. It's going to be more. His son just got arrested today.
I saw that. It's sad because it's. I feel like this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just a tip. It is. It
And has
is.
been named in the paperwork as well too.
That's sad. That's sad. So I know. I forgot his. I believe is it Justin.
Justin Combs. Yes.
Yes. Oh Lord, they finna. Lord, it's sad. It's sad. I'm praying that his mom or somebody at least looking at them twin girls, because it's bad enough they lost their mom. Now they're more likely gonna lose their dad too, just in a different way. So I pray for those little Black girls, because this has to be hard to deal with. Again, losing your mom and now your dad is mm, mm. Sad.
And to the survivors out
Mm,
here, we hear you, we see you, we stand with you. And when
absolutely,
someone says they've experienced something, you listen.
absolutely.
There are so many resources out here. And one resource is the National Domestic Violence Hotline. And the number is 1-800-799-7233. 1-800-799-7233. Get help. Let
Yes,
someone know. Let a family member know.
yes.
Do not let the person who's doing the abusing know that you are leaving.
Mm-mm.
Get out.
Yes.
Pack a bag, pack whatever you need, and get out.
Get out. Get out. Like I said, email me. I see somebody left a comment on what to do. You got a friend in that type of situation. You don't know what to do. Um, Honestly, when it comes to that, the only thing you can do is be an ear and be there for whatever she says she needs. But to be honest, there's no preaching you can do. There's no loving you can do. There's nothing that you can say that can convince that woman to get out of that situation. It's 100% up to her. And when she's ready, everybody has a breaking point. It's up to her. All I say is when she does come to you, close these, open these, be an ear. Don't be judgmental. There's no advice you can give, because if you're not living in it, you won't understand it. Period, point blank. Just be there. That's all I can say is just be there. In any way, shape, or form that she needs you, be there. That's it. That's it. That's all.
Daniels, you missed it, baby. We just talked about
Yeah,
Angel
we
Reese.
went there.
We talked Angel Reese. We talked Monique. We talked Lizzo. We talked Black women who've been experiencing so much throughout this week, seeing it in the news.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
going to be interesting as it pertains to Diddy
It is.
and all of these other artists that are, even with the Quiet on the Set documentary with Nickelodeon.
I still haven't watched. I'm so scared to. I have to watch it because I need to know what's happening. But I'm so scared. I'm like, but you know what? That guy, and I know it sounds like the guy who they're accusing. I never, even as a kid, something never fit right with me with him. I always felt something was off with him, and now it's all coming to the light. What happens in the dark will come to the light, baby. It will. It will. But then you might have to watch the replay of this. Steve, you gotta leave them up for a girl so they can watch the replay of this because they got some questions.
Yes, y'all missed a great girl talk. It is 5:35 now, and we've been talking. We touched a number of things, from
Yeah.
Angel Reese to Lizzo to Monique's Club Shay Shay interview. If you guys have not seen it, you need to go and check
Yeah.
that out. Because what really, again, before we wrap up, what really got me is Will Packer. All you worried about is the wigs.
Did you see the video, Stevie?
She posted, T.S. Madison said that T.S. Madison spoke with Monique on the phone, and she said, "You think I'm playing about posting the video?" She posted that video right after the
I
Shannon
was
Sharpe
like,
interview.
oh my God. Like that blew my mind. And then, like you said, for her to say, he said was like, okay, what about the wig? Did you not see the trailers blew up? Like that was insane. Insane. And we're
These
not a
people
part.
could have not been here.
Okay. I'm glad that she kept her receipts. If Monique ain't gonna do nothing, baby, she gonna have some receipts. She gonna have some receipts. I love it. I love it.
And she dropped it right after that interview. T.S.
Immediately.
Madison spoke with her on the phone, and she said, "I'm gonna post the receipt." And she posted it. I'm just like, the trailer smoking. I'm like, wait, what is going on here?
That was crazy. That was crazy. Mm-hmm.
You have stars on set, and you're not willing to accommodate them, and their lives are in jeopardy and danger. Are you kidding me?
Oh, he would have
But
been pissed if one of them was in it. Now, what if one of them really got injured? Are you kidding? Baby, that's what I said. This game is something else, Stevie. It's something else. Mm-hmm.
Black women, I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to encourage us to speak up more in power.
Yeah.
Speak up on whatever trauma you're experiencing. This is the year of the Black woman. We just celebrated International Women's Month, but
Yeah.
all years will be the year of the Black
Amen.
woman, because
And I'm
we've
here.
been through so much, we tolerate so much, we put up with so much, and we're still expected to keep a smile on our face and keep going.
Yep.
So
Shut up and be the wet nurse.
yeah, shut up
Mm-hmm.
and play ball. That's what they expect. But Black women are speaking out and saying, "Hey, we're not putting up with this no more."
At all.
Even as it pertains to Freaknik and the Quiet on the Set documentary,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things are coming out. This is Age of the Aquarius. Shout outs to Conscious TV, CTV on YouTube. He's amazing. He said this is age of accountability. So a
Hello.
lot of stuff is coming to light. It's
Mm-hmm.
not being hidden in the dark anymore. It's coming to the light.
Amen.
So before we wrap up our girl talk, Chappelle, is there any gems that you would like to drop to women that have watched both of us here in this girl talk today, or anybody in general? What gems would you like to?
Stand in your truth. Be your number one cheerleader and fight for you. If you're alone, like said Michael Jackson said it, even Lil Wayne said it, talk to that man in the mirror. You're gonna come in this world alone, you're gonna leave this world alone, but stay true in your faith, who you are, speak up for yourself, and never back down on who you are and your beliefs. And if don't nobody love you, I love you. I'll leave it at that.
Sure do. And you guys can go and check out my girl Chappelle and the Bitter Sugar, the French Defense. Also, too, please be sure and go and check her
Yeah.
out. The premiere April 20th. Make sure you guys go and follow her, and make sure you check that out as well too. Today's final thought comes from Morgan Freeman, and he says, learning how to be still, to really be still in life, and let life happen. That
Mm.
stillness becomes a radiance. And that comes from Morgan Freeman. So be still in the
Yes.
moment. Be still and embrace it. Take it all in, all of your achievements, everything that you've been through in life. Take that in. It is a blessing. And make sure that we touched on mental health as well, too, in
Yes.
the Girl Talk today. So before we go, make sure that you are pouring into yourself. Make sure that you are also pouring into the loved ones as well too. We give so much of ourselves as human nature, but make sure that you are pouring into number one also too. And I make sure that self-care is important. Whether it's riding, it can be taking a walk, it can be riding a bike. I see so many people talk about my self-care journey. Take a trip. I see a lot of people are taking trips by themselves. You don't have to have a group of people with you.
Baby.
Take a trip, take a
Yes.
vacation.
Amen.
So, Chappelle Girl, where can everyone follow you and check you out?
Well, everything is Chappelle Nicole, Chapelle, Nicole Nichole on every platform you can think of: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. If it's out there and you type in Chappelle Nicole, I'm very easy to find, which is kind of scary but good. But I'm very easy to find. You can find me everywhere. Make sure you check out the link in my bio shows all my stuff, my IMBD, all that good stuff, and make sure you tune in to Bit of Sugar. Premieres red carpet April 20th here in Atlanta.
All right, Fashion Dolls, there you have it. And Chappelle Girl, it was a pleasure meeting you. We've been talking about this throughout
Yeah.
the week, and I had such a great time. This was needed.
Thank you, Stevie. Thank you. Much needed. Love you guys.
Love you too, girl. And this will be up on YouTube, so you guys can head on over and subscribe to Chappelle's channel. And mine's, it will be up there. I have Chappelle tagged, so you guys, it'll direct you straight to her channel. But make sure that you guys head on over, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll be notified when new interviews are uploaded as well. And it'll be here on IGTV. So I need y'all to go back and watch from beginning to end, because I didn't know Chappelle was going to give her testimony today. I swear I didn't. So make sure that y'all watch from beginning to end, so that you're just like, when you hear her testimony, you'll be like, wow, she's still here. She's still surviving. Yes, she is. So watch from beginning to end. I love y'all. Y'all have a fabulous weekend, and we will see y'all next week. Y'all take care. And
Bye,
Chappelle Girl,
y'all. Bye, Stevie.
take care.